At least get one policy through, for goodness sake. I mean, fishing hell, not even Labour are jumping on board. It's very concerning to me that Plaid Cymru still haven't accomplished anything. And they've been now in office since May. How many months is that, Matthew?
2.
2. Those
3.
Yeah. it's a few months. It's a few months. And everything they've tried to get through has been knocked back. But what is the most concerning thing is that not even Labour are jumping on board with what Plaid Cymru are coming up with. That should tell you everything, because Labour are pretty inept. They've been in office since the Senedd was set up. It's been a Labour government in Wales for years and years. However, Plaid have come in and have taken it one step further than Labour. They are the Socialist Party for Wales. And they can't get anything done. That is so concerning for me, because, there's got to be some decent, common sense policies coming through that some of the parties should be able to agree with. And the fact that the parties are not jumping on board with what they're saying is very concerning. You've got to think that maybe Plaid Cymru don't understand what's happening in Wales right now. And apparently they're the party for Wales. They are the party who understand Wales the best. But it's looking to me like they understand the worst. Dare I say, are they worse than Labour? Matt, do you think they're worse than Labour?
Well, yeah, based on this short track record. The thing is I think they were hoping for the super majority, everyone coming out for the Party of Wales, the Party of Wales, which didn't happen, of course. I think they were probably suspecting that Reform would do well, and they did. But I think they were still hoping for that majority, weren't they? And because they didn't get that, then ultimately anyone with a majority but not the ultimate majority should be able to recognise that the country isn't fully on board with them, and they need to compromise.
Right.
They need to reach out, across the aisle. They need to do things differently other than that plan that they would have had in place, saying, we're going to do X, Y, and Z based on a manifesto if we had that full majority. But they didn't. They don't. But then it doesn't seem like they're willing to make that change to be able to reach out, compromise, and go, actually, well, yeah, a big proportion of the country voted for the alternative to us, and we should really try to listen to those voices, which they're not.
That makes a reasonable party. When a party is able to work with others, regardless of if they are the opposing view, then that shows maturity of politics. The fact that they can't work with any of them, not even the parties on the left side of the aisle. They can't even come to an agreement with them. That is really very concerning. And I think what it's doing is setting up a precedent. Because, bear in mind, they've only been in government for 3 months. And we are already seeing an immaturity in those politicians. Number one, walking out to Joe Martin's speech. I mean, that hit all the news media because it's so childish. It's very immature. And that's not the way that politics work. Politics has to put all personal things to one side. You have to put your preferences to one side, your opinions to one side. And you have to have the ability to hear what the other side of the aisle is saying. And then you have to work back and forth, debate back and forth what is for the greater good of the nation. If you are not able to do that, that speaks volumes of who you are as a party. And, I do know that there are a few Plaid MSs in there, Art of Gold, really want to see Wales thrive, really nice, kind people. However, as politicians, it's not about being nice and kind. I'm sorry, but it ain't. It's about getting the job done. It's about bettering our country. And you have to acknowledge when there are issues, when there needs to be a solution, and you have to work with other parties. And while it's nice to be nice, and it's, kind to be kind, but those things don't change countries. Those attributes do not change nations. I'm sorry, they just don't. So there needs to be another level of maturity, I think, come to Plaid Cymru and how they perform in the Senedd debate, in the chamber. And I think they need to actually start working with Reform, who, by the way, were not rejected by Wales, because there seems to be like a theme that Plaid keeps saying that Wales has rejected Reform. No, they've only been in Wales for, I think, 4 or 5 years. That's all. And look what they have done. They are the second largest party in Wales. That tells you everything you need to know. And only about 50% actually turned out for the vote. That tells me everything I need to know. Plaid Cymru have had an opportunity for 27 years to become the leaders in the Senate. But they haven't until this year. So it's not a rejection of reform. What it is reform rising through the ranks, and they are hot on Plaid's heels right now. So I think we need to keep our eyes open for what Plaid are doing. Let's see if they're willing to work with the other parties. Let's see some maturity rise up with those MSs on that side. And maybe they'll accomplish something. At least they're one policy through, for goodness sake. I mean, fish and hell, not even Labour are jumping on board.
That would be nice, wouldn't it?
Wouldn't that be nice? Just have one thing that goes through. My word. Don't look to left, don't look to right, look up Wales.